everyone, and welcome to my These Books Tore My Heart Out video. I'm always saying that I do not get emotional over books, and then I was watching Good Omens Season 2, no spoilers, and I got my heart torn out in the end, and it got me thinking about books that have actually made me emotional to read or made me feel quite a lot and this kind of thing, and torn my heart out in various ways, and I found quite a few of them, so we're going to talk about them today because why not? First I have Record of a Spaceborne Feud by Becky Chambers, and this one didn't exactly tear my heart out, it just really hit me really hard in a lot of ways, which should probably make it my favourite of the Wayfarer series, but my favourite is still A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And if you don't know what the Wayfarer series is, a set of sort of slice of life, semi-contemporary but futuristic sci-fis kind of thing. Is very much slice of life, this kind of thing, and we're just following characters about their daily lives. And in this one specifically, this is about a fleet of ships where one of the ships has had a disaster and everybody on board has died, or nearly everybody has, and what happens to these other people on the other fleet ships as they sort of start really thinking about what they want from their lives, what they're doing, this kind of thing. And this just hit me like a ton of bricks, and that's the only way I can describe it, because it made me sort of like really think about a lot of things. It really sort of like, I related to it in a lot of ways, weirdly, this kind of thing, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. It didn't make me cry, but it certainly left its mark on me, to say the least, and I still think about it to this day. Just on occasion when I'm like thinking about life and all of this kind of thing, this book definitely comes into mind, and it's still not out of my head. It definitely has the potential to rip out your heart in a lot of places with how people like think and what they're doing, this kind of thing. It does end on on like a hopeful note if you are more into like more hopeful things, but it does talk about like life and grief and death and this kind of thing, and it just hit really hard. That's the only way I can describe it. It hit really hard. Similarly, there is The Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This one is another one that really did sort of like hit me quite hard in a lot of ways, because this is all about Addie, who does not want a normal life, and she ends up making a deal with a demon that comes out after dark to live forever. But the only problem is that no one will remember her, and this was oddly relatable in the way like Addie thinks about things, and the way she goes about life and all of this kind of thing. Her thought patterns, everything else was so much like me. It just hit me like a ton of bricks again when I was reading it, because it was so relatable. If I hadn't been interrupted in the last sort of chapter, I may have actually started crying reading this, I won't lie. So yeah, it definitely hit me like a ton of bricks. It definitely points really sort of ripped my heart out in a lot of ways, and I just absolutely loved it. If you're looking for this kind of like talking about like life and everything else, again, definitely read this one. It definitely had a very big impact on me. Then on a different note, there's Artemis Fowl and the Last Guardian. This is the final one in the Artemis Fowl series before the Fowl Twins spin-off kicks in, and I was hit so hard by this ending. I nearly started crying reading this ending. Artemis's ending just got me so badly, and I can't get over it. I still think about it to this day. It still like makes me emotional to think about it. It just really worked in so many ways. It just worked so well for me, and I cannot describe how I felt reading this, because it's like, it just, I can't even describe it. I can't describe it. It just really got to me, and it did tear my heart out in a lot of ways, and it made me cry, or very nearly cry, which is something a book has rarely done, if ever has done, and this managed it. Of all the books, I'm still not sure why it was this one, but this one definitely got me. There's also Scott Dockery Pleasant's Last Stand of Dead Men. This is the 8th book in the series, and I won't give spoilers because obviously it's the 8th book in the series, but my reading vlog is up above if you want to check it out and see my full spoilery thoughts on it and everything. But this one, a thing happens. There is a betrayal, and a big thing happens which affects a lot of my favourite characters, and I was like, Derek Landy, you did not just do that. And I'm not kidding when I say, when I read this for the first time, I was sat there going, no, and then it happened, and I was like, you did not just do that. But he did, because he's Derek Landy, and he loves to see his readers suffer, to say the least. Like, he's done a lot of things in his books where you're like, that is horrible and gut-wrenching and everything else. But in this one, he absolutely, when the thing happens, if you know, you know, but when the thing happens, it absolutely tore my heart out. And actually, speaking of Derek Landy tearing my heart out, I've also got to mention Omen in the second half of the series, from Resurrection all the way until the end. Omen rips my heart out entirely. He is just this sweet little cinnamon roll of a character, and everyone mistreats him. Everyone. He is treated like he is expendable, and it just killed me every single time. I just wanted to adopt him and love him. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to squeeze his little face and tell him that he's loved. And I couldn't do that because he's fictional, and it tore my heart out the entire time I was reading. Omen is... He's Omen. He didn't deserve what he got. He did not deserve it. And Derek Landy was just mean to him the whole way through, and it tore my heart out. Then also there's Crooked Kingdom, and I mean specifically the ending of Crooked Kingdom. If you've read this, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. It just tore me to pieces, this ending. It just killed me to read it, and I was like, I cannot believe this just happened. Everything was fine. Everything was going well. And then that last thing happened, and it was sort of like Leigh Bardugo gave us with one hand and taketh away with the other, and went, oh no, everyone's too happy, no, we're gonna destroy you now. And it was kind of like this, and I was like, what? I cannot believe you just did this. I'm still not over it, and I will never be over it. And then finally there is Elle McNichol's Show Us Who You Are, because I had to include a Elle McNichol book in here somewhere, and this one was the first one I read, and this was just so relatable that it hit me. Again, it just absolutely got to me in so many ways reading this, because our main character was so relatable to my experiences of autism and things like this, and like dealing with like other people and how they view you as an autistic person, and how like my brain works compared to how her brain works was very, very similar, and all of this kind of thing. It just really hit me like a lot in a lot of ways, and it just felt so relatable in so many ways as well, and it just really hit me, to be honest. And it just left me thinking like every day while I was reading this book, when I put it down because I was listening to it audibly in like 20-minute chunks, I was still just thinking about it and thinking about like the implications of this and like how relatable it was. And it made me look at my life in a bit of a different way as well, and like go over like old interactions and like what I would do in our main character's situation, and thinking about like AI and like ableism and like eugenics and things like this. Is all stuff that really affects me in a lot of ways, and this just really hit those points in a lot of places, and it just really hit and tore my heart out in how our main character deals with things and the things she goes through, all of this kind of thing, and like how adults treat her and so many other things. It just tore me to shreds. It definitely ripped my heart out to read. Definitely. It healed it by the end of it, but definitely ripped my heart out in the meantime. And I think that's why I'm going to leave this, because I don't think there's any other books that I can really mention that really tore my heart out, really, because I don't really have that many. So that's why I'm going to leave this. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me a book that tore your heart out. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a broken heart emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, as well as link down below to my Etsy store that sells bookish merch like this Crow Club Ketterdam t-shirt. If you're interested in it, or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. Until next time, everyone, bye!